What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Do You Want More, a UFC stat show here on the Monk Maddox channel. I am your host, Monk, aka Monk Master Flex, aka the Monkmatician, and this episode we are going to break down all 6 fights on the prelim portion of UFC Vegas 36, Brunson versus Till. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, guys. First fight of the night. Jonathan Martinez taking on Marcelo Rojo at bantamweight. Marcelo is moving down a weight class. Martinez, 5'8", 70-inch reach, southpaw, 27 years old. Marcelo Rojo, 5'8", 71-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 33 years old. So about 5.5 years older than Martinez. Professional record, 13-4. He's 4-3 in the UFC. 41% of Martinez's fights go the distance. Let's see, 47% of his fights end in KO, TKO, 7 wins, 1 loss, and 11, almost 12% of his fights end by submission. He has 2 submission wins. Across the way here, Marcelo Rojo, sorry, I just chugged like a whole bottle of water. Marcelo Rojo, 17.3% of his fights go the distance. 40% of his fights end by KO, TKO, 8 wins, 1 loss. So a lot of knockouts between these guys, 15 to be exact. And then 6 wins by sub, 4 losses by sub. So it does have a pretty high losing rate there as well. Average fight time in the UFC, 13.27 for Martinez, almost 15 minutes for Marcelo Rojo. 2.42 ass whooping index for Martinez, 1.26 power index, and 0.85 chindex. So the ass whoop index is okay. Power index is really good. Over 1. I mean, that's really good. Chindex, very high. 47th out of 67 in the bantamweight division. Marcelo Rojo, negative 19.1 ass whoop index in his 1 fight in the UFC. 0 power index and an extremely high chindex, 1.89. 62nd out of 67 bantamweights in the division. Some odds here. Martinez opened at minus 250. That line has shifted dramatically, going to minus 158. Rojo opened at 210, plus 130. I don't have the inside the distance or by decision numbers yet. Props aren't out for that yet. So, therefore, my capping numbers are going to be off by just a little bit, but they should be relatively close. Here. Some notable performances and some notable performances ranked by ass whoop index. If you'd like to take a look there. UFC fight finishing data, half of Martinez's 4 wins have come by way of finish. Both knockouts, TKOs. 1 knockout loss. Couple decision wins there. Marcelo Rojo, 100% finish loss rate there for his 1 fight in the UFC. There is a graphical depiction of the stats I just mentioned if you'd like to take a look. If all these numbers are cluster fucked up here, that means they are zeros. So don't mind those. Round finishing data, 2 round 3 finish wins for Martinez. 1 round 2 finish loss. Meanwhile, one round 3 finish loss for Marcelo Rojo. Ass whoop index by way of finish, loss, and decision there. So some decent numbers, especially in the loss, I should say, for Martinez. Let's see, basic striking data. Let's get into it. 4.27 significant strikes landed per minute at a 46% rate. 3.81 landed against per minute at a 58% defense. So some pretty run-of-the-mill numbers there. A little bit, average or a little above average. 0.46 significant strikes per minute differential. Good for 32nd in the division. Marcelo Rojo, much higher volume, but everything else is lower. 5.1 landed per minute, 36% accuracy. Pretty poor. 7.3 landed against per minute. Ouch. 51.82% defense, with a terrible significant striking differential of minus 2.2 per minute. That is 61st in the division. Martinez, 4.36 striking efficiency. Rojo, negative 11.9. Rojo, 76.47% of his total fight time was fought at distance. And just under that, 73.3 for Martinez. Let's see, those are pretty much the same. Knockdown data, 5 knockdowns in 7 fights for Martinez. That's a .81 knockdown per 15. That is very high in the division. He has been knocked down 3 times, though. Hence that decently high chindex that we talked about. Let's see here. Marcelo Rojo, no knockdowns, 2 knockdowns against in his 1 fight. That's a huge KD against per 15. Almost last in the division. Negative differential. Takedown data. 0.48 takedowns landed per 15 for Martinez at a 37.5% accuracy. 1.13 landed against per 15 at a 63% defense. So not terrible. Doesn't shoot too much. 0.93% shooting rate. Takedown efficiency is 0.66%. Rojo 1.03 takedowns landed per 15 at a 50% accuracy. Got a 100% takedown defense. Stopped all 1 of the takedowns against, but that is still 100%. Takedown shooting rate pretty much the same as Martinez, under 1, with a 50% takedown accuracy. That is 3rd in the division. Advanced takedown data. Let's see here. Jonathan Martinez, when facing 2 or more takedowns against, his opponent lands 1.88 of those takedowns per 15. So just a random takedown stat there. Sorry, I'm recording this super late, so I'm trying to breeze through this as quick as possible. Basic control time data. Feel free to pause it, ask me any questions in the comments, etc. But I am going to try to get through it. Control time data, 16.25% for Jonathan Martinez, 10.44 against, a positive differential. 26.7% of his total fight time was fought inside the distance. Let's see here. Marcelo Rojo on the other side, 3.21, 20% against, negative huge differential. 23.5% of his fight time was fought inside the distance. I mean, these are all literally red flags. Advanced control time data. Martinez get up time, 30 seconds. Hold down time, 113. That is 1st in the division. Wow. Marcelo Rojo on the other side, get up time, almost 3 minutes. Hold down time, 14 seconds, so not much there. Control time activity rate for Martinez, 9.14. 40.71 for Marcelo Rojo. That's because he has less than half a minute control time, so that's going to be a huge number no matter what. And that number we mentioned earlier, 26% of the time Martinez fought inside the distance, he has controlled 61% of that grappling time, while Rojo has controlled less than 14% of his total grappling time. No bueno. Martinez, when he attempts 2 or more takedowns, his control time almost doubles from 16.25 to 31. So that is a huge jump right there. Submission data, 2 sub attempts against for Martinez. He's defended both. No information for Rojo. Reversal data, 1 reverse for Martinez, 2 reversals against. And then some advanced significant striking data. Middle column, just like above, is all accuracy and defense, and then volume on the right too. So I'm kind of just looking to see what stands out to me here. Some pretty run-of-the-mill numbers, some below average numbers as well. Some decent head striking defense for Martinez, whereas Rojo's head striking accuracy and defense is pretty terrible. Has good body striking and leg striking though. Distance striking accuracy, not terrible, but his volume is there, as we saw above. Advanced significant striking efficiency and differentials. Plus 13 to the head efficiency, minus 10 body striking efficiency, minus 20 legs. Distance striking efficiency, 2.67, and a 15.5 inside the distance. We are negative everywhere for Rojo except for body striking efficiency. It's a negative head striking efficiency at 23.6 and negative 62% inside the distance striking efficiency there. Martinez, almost a 1 strike differential per minute when he's striking to the head. Negative body striking differential and clinch striking differential. Marcelo Rojo, look at this number. Negative almost 3 head striking differential per minute. Wow. Negative 0.69 distance striking differential. 0.69 leg striking differential. So some interesting, that's a huge head striking differential number there. Oof. Advanced significant striking percentages. This one I'm kind of just looking to see if our guys are headhunters. All of the significant strikes thrown for Jonathan Martinez, out of all of them I should say, that he's thrown, 72 have been to the head, 18.5 to the body, and 9 to the legs. Meanwhile, Marcelo Rojo, 71.5 have been to the head, 14 to the body, and 14 to the legs. 91% strikes thrown to the distance, 85% for Jonathan Martinez. 11% ground strikes. Graphical analysis of those strikes. And we'll get into the last 5 here before we finish this up. 3-2 is Jonathan Martinez in his last 5. Marcelo Rojo 0-1 in the UFC, so these numbers are going to be the exact same as above. Meanwhile, Martinez, decent ass whooping index, 5.61, huge power, 1.79, and he's improved the Chindex to 0.39. Positive striking differential and control time differential, 90% takedown defense in his last 5. Wow, that is huge. You'd like to see that control time up a little bit more, though. Either that or the striking accuracy, one of the two. 5 knockdowns in his last 5. Huge. Categorical trends. This just measures in a certain category a fighter's output over the last 5 compared to his entire career. So Martinez has gotten 4% worse striking accuracy over his last 5 compared to his career, but he has improved his defense by 4%. Improved his takedown defense by 26, almost 27% there. Strength of schedule. In his last 5, Martinez is 3-2. Rojo is also 3-2, 0-1 in the UFC. We have some okay strength of schedule numbers here. 71.82 opponent win percentage, 71.5 strength of schedule. You want to see it at about 75 to 80 is where you'd want to see it. Anything above that's great. Anything below that is below average. 73 strength of victory and a 69 strength of defeat. Shout out Uncle Wheezy. I figured these ratio numbers were too important to not have, so I am going to share them as well. You can kind of take a look at these opponents' average fights and his wins and his losses, blah, blah, blah. What we're going to focus on are these bottom row here. Last 5 opponents, last 5 win ratio. 2.55, that's, average for the card. 2.72, when he wins, when Jonathan Martinez wins, his opponents have a win-loss ratio of 2.72. That's the 10th highest. And in losses, 2.31. Marcelo Rojo on the other side, 72.5 win percentage, 71.5 strength of schedule, 65 strength of victory, and 78 strength of defeat, which is pretty good. And then the ratios here, all average or below average, except for that strength of victory, or strength of defeat, I mean. Fight history, last 5. You can take a look at that. 1 fight against Charles Jourdain, who's also on this card, for Marcelo Rojo. And then the other 5 for Jonathan Martinez. I'll scroll up so you can see past my big head. Feel free to take a look at those, pause the screen. And then lastly, a couple of graphs here. You want the blue line above the orange. Dash line is our trend line, and then the green line is our average. Yellow line is opponent's average, as you can see on the legend at the bottom. So a decent striking graph here for Martinez, barely above his opponents, but still looking good. He's exactly even with his takedown numbers with his opponents, and then the control time, he is doubling up, but still under 5% there. Whereas on the other side, not much, because Marcelo Rojo only has 1 fight, but he is getting outstruck. He has more takedowns, but his control time is terrible compared to his opponent. All right, guys, next fight is going to be, let's see if I can spell this without looking. Crap, I can't. Lungiambula, that's right. Dalcha Lungiambula against Marc-Andre Barrio. This is a middleweight fight, 5'8" for Dalcha, 76-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 34 years old. Barrio, 6'1", 74-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 31 years, 6 months old. So 2.5 years younger than Dalcha. Dalcha 11-2, professionally 2-1 in the UFC. 46% of his fights have ended by KO TKO, 5 wins, 1 loss. And then he has 1 sub win and 1 sub loss as well. Barrio 12-4, 1 no contest professionally, 1-3, and that 1 no contest did happen in the UFC. 56.25% of his fights have ended by knockout TKO, 9 wins, 0 losses, and he's never been subbed, and he does not have a sub finish, so he's never been finished in his career. That is 14 wins by KO between the two of them. If you're keeping track of that. Average fight time, 12 minutes for Dalcha, just under 14 for Barrio. 2.45 ASWOP index, 1.49 power index, great number for Dalcha there, but a terrible 1.22 Chindex. On the other side, Barrio, 0.32 ASWOP index, so just above 0. 0.53 power, which is decent, and a perfect Chindex of 0. Dalcha opened at 105, plus 105. He's currently plus 119. So minus 135 fight doesn't go. Barrio opened at minus 125, currently minus 145. I'm capping this fight basically at 50-50 with a slight edge toward Barrio, but once again, I do not have those finish numbers, so those could change in the next couple days. I will update you guys via video or Twitter. Some notable performances, notable performances, UFC fight finishing data, 50-50 as far as decisions and finishes for Dalcha's wins. 100% finish win rate for Barrio in his one fight. All three of his losses have been by decision. As we said, never been finished. His one fight that he won, Barrio finished in round 3. Dalcha also has a round 3 finish. I think there's a mosquito in here. Terrible. And a round 3 finish loss. ASWOP index 34.59 in his finish wins has Dalcha. Minus 32 in his finish losses. And an above 0, 3.78 in his decisions. Basic striking data. Dalcha, only 1.85 significant strikes landed per minute. That's 60th out of 64 fighters in the middleweight division. At a 50% accuracy. His defense is pretty good, though, or is the volume anyway. 2.27 strikes landed against per minute. But the significant striking defense is pretty bad at less than 44%. He's got a negative 0.41 significant strikes landed per minute differential. And that is 48th out of 64, I should say. On the other side, Barrio, much higher volume for and against, 5.36 landed per minute, 9th in the division, 48% accuracy. Gets hit with 4.79 significant strikes per minute. That's 55th in the division, but at a 56% accurate or a defense, which is pretty good. A positive significant strikes per minute differential at 0.57, 26th in the division. Negative 6% striking efficiency for Dalcha, 3.77 for Marc-Andre. 61% of Barrio's time has been fought at distance, while only 31% for Dalcha. Knockdown data, 1 for Dalcha, 2 for Barrio. That gives him a 0.43 compared to 0.41 KD per 15. They're neck and neck there on the rankings. Dalcha's been knocked down once. Marc-Andre never been knocked down in the UFC. Does have a 50% knockdown win rate, though, compared to Dalcha's 100. Basic takedown data, just over 2 takedowns landed per 15 for Dalcha at a 50% accuracy. 0.41 landed against per 15, so that is next to nothing. 16th in the division. It's a 75% defense, so pretty good. It's only been 1 out of 4, but still pretty decent. Positive takedowns landed per 15 differential at 1.66, 15th in the division. 25% takedown efficiency. Very, very good numbers there. Barrio, decent numbers, but not as good as Dalcha, as we're going to see. Low volume, 0.43 takedowns landed per 15. A 25% accuracy. He does have a takedown defense of 72.41, though. So stuffed, what's that, 21 out of 29 takedowns. So that's pretty good. 1% takedown shooting rate. Meanwhile, Dalcha, a huge 7.5%. I skipped over that. Barrio has a negative takedown differential and a negative takedown efficiency at negative 2.59. Let's see here. I know there's a mosquito here because it's on my head, so I'm going to start slapping myself here in a minute, so don't mind me. Basic control time data, 41% for Dalcha, 27.5% against. That's a positive differential there. And he has fought 68.5% of his fight time inside the distance. Marc-Andre Barrio, less than 15% control time, 24% control time against. That is a negative differential. He's fought just under 39% of his control time inside the distance. Get up time for Dalcha, not great. 150 seconds. Hold down time, really good. 89 seconds. Barrio, 34.66 seconds get up time, 76-second hold down time. He's controlled just under 38% of all his grappling time. while Dalcha has controlled just under 60% of his grappling time. Barrio does have a almost 21 control time activity rate, so he stays busy when he's in control. That is 12th out of 64 in the division. Submission data. Dalcha has defended his one takedown attempt against successfully. No reversals. There is one reversal against for Barrio. Let's see here. What am I looking for in advanced significant striking data? Leg defense is good for Dalcha. Otherwise, his numbers are pretty low for the most part. High ground striking accuracy. Look at that. 8th. One significant significant strike landed per minute. 6th in the division. Very good there. On the other side, some, above average to average numbers for Barrio. Offensively looks pretty good. Almost better all the way around compared to Dalcha. Advanced significant striking efficiency and differentials. Negative across the board for Dalcha. He's got negative differentials everywhere, except head strikes are completely even. Ground striking, he does have the advantage, 0.61 differential per minute. Whereas Barrio is negative everywhere as well, except for head striking efficiency. That is almost 9%. And he's only negative in his body and his distance striking differential, plus 1.25 head striking differential per minute. And an even better ground striking differential than Dalcha has, which is interesting. 74.5% of all strikes Dalcha's thrown have been to the head. 23.8% have been to the body, and 1.5 to the legs. 85% to the head for Barrio, 7.5 to the body, and 7.5 to the legs. 73.8% distance strikes for Barrio. 55 distance strikes for Dalcha, percent I should say. 36.5 ground striking percentage. Oof. That is third highest in the division. Graphical depiction of those numbers. And then we do not have to look at the last 5 because they have neither have more than 5 fights in the UFC. So all these numbers are exactly the same. Strength of schedule. 4-1 is Dalcha in his last 5. 2-1 in the UFC. 72.5% opponent win percentage. 71 strength of schedule. 68.8 strength of victory. And a huge 93.75 strength of defeat. I mean, he's got the second highest losing win ratio, opponent's win ratio, I should say. Some average ratios over there as well. On the other side, Barrio, 2-3 in his last 5, 1-3-0, and then 1 no contest in the UFC. I do not count the no contest in the professional fights. That's why these are different. 78.4 opponent win percentage, 75 strength of schedule, 84.6 strength of victory. That is very good. 75.8 strength of defeat. So a decent strength of schedule here. 4th highest opponent last 5 win ratio. And highest out of all the wins that he has. That is the highest opponent win ratio out of wins on this card. 5.5. Very good. Fight history. You can take a look at that. Does not look like they share common opponents in that last 5. Dude, and I keep track of the DraftKings points values here, ass whooping index per fight. So, and that basically, the individual ass whooping index in the fight can tell you without, if you take out the round by round scoring, who won the fight according to metrics. Okay, that's kind of what I'm looking at. And then some graphical analysis of a couple of categories here. Dalcha's getting outstruck. His takedowns are much better than his opponent. Control time much better as well. While Marc-Andre Barrio has the exact opposite graphs. Better striking. Takedowns could use some work. And oof, that control time his control time is trending up. So he can keep that moving. He might be able to catch that 24%. All right. Next fight. Charles Jourdain. Whoops. Uh-oh. I don't know what I just did. Bear with me. Something's happening. Hopefully that wasn't my pornography folder for all that saved pornography that I have on my hard drive. Charles Jourdain against Julian Erosa. Featherweight fight. Charles Jourdain, 5'9", 69-inch reach, 25, almost 26 years old. Julian Erosa, 6'1", 74-inch reach, so the much bigger fighter, southpaw, and he is 6.5 years older than Charles Jourdain. 11-3-1 is Jourdain, 2-2-1 in the UFC. 53% of his fights have been stopped by KO TKO. 8 wins, no losses, and he's never been subbed. Does have 3 wins by sub, however. Erosa, 25-9 professionally, 3-5 in the UFC. 47% of his fights have ended by KO TKO. 11 wins, 5 losses. He also has 11 submission wins, no submission losses there. So 22 finish wins for this guy out of 34 fights. That is huge. Ass whooping index for Jourdain, 3.3. Power index, 1.5. Very good. Chindex, 0.7. Not great. Julian Erosa has a negative, almost 11 ass whooping index. Power index is okay at 0.33. Chindex is terrible. Double Charles Jourdain's, 1.42. That is, that is god-awful. Erosa opened at plus 140. He's currently plus 153. Jourdain minus 170 is currently minus 188. This fight is minus 180. Fight does not go to decision. Yeah, I'd say so. See, 11 out of what? 15 Charles Jourdain fights he's won by finish. And then the 22 wins out of 25 for Mr. Erosa. I'm capping this 55-45 pretty much at the moment. See, Charles Jourdain did TKO Marcelo Rojo, who's also on this card. Fight finishing data, 100% win rate for Jourdain in the UFC. 66.67 for Erosa. Was that 80? 80% finish loss rate. So out of his 5 UFC losses, 4 of them have come by way of KO TKO loss. That is a huge number. And Charles Jourdain, 40% of the fights he's finished have come by knockout in the UFC. 1 round 2 finish win, 1 round 3 finish win. Erosa has a 1 round finish win as well. Also been finished twice in the first round, once in the second and once in the third. Has a terrible negative 9.5 ass whooping index in his decisions. Basic striking data, Jourdain 4.79 significant strikes landed per minute, 19th out of 70 in the division at a 45.1% accuracy. Gets hit with 4.11 at a 61.47 defense. So that is a great defense, 14th in the division. He has a positive 0.68 significant strikes landed per minute differential, 30th out of 70. He's also got a 6.56 striking efficiency. 79% of his total fight time has been fought at distance. Julian Erosa, 4.74 significant strikes landed per minute. That's pretty good on the volume side and has a decent accuracy, 46.1%. Gets hit with much more than that, though. 5.53 strikes per minute, 64th out of 70 there at a 52.5% defense, also below average. Has a negative striking differential of negative 0.79 strikes per minute, 57th in the division. Has a negative striking efficiency, minus 1.40, has fought 63.6% of his fight time at distance. Knockdown data, 5 for Jourdain, 2 against. Has a 1.09 KD per 15. That is 4th highest in the featherweight division. Huge number. 1 knockdown for Erosa, 5 knockdowns against. My goodness. An equally huge 1.18 knockdown against per 15, except you don't want that number to be that huge. 66th out of 70th in the division. Ouch. Let's see. And the 2 times Jourdain has been knocked down, he has not lost that fight or those fights, depending on how many times that happened. Let's see. 0 of 1 takedowns for Jourdain. He has stuffed 9 of 19 for a 47.37% defense. So not great numbers there. One of the lowest takedown shooting rates in the division. Negative 52% efficiency. On the other side, Erosa lands 1.42 takedowns per 15 at a 60% accuracy. 2.36 takedowns landed against per 15 at a 58% defense, so not a good look there. That's a negative differential, but a positive efficiency, 18.33%. Some advanced takedown data if you are interested. Basic control time data, 9.24% for, 11.37% against. The negative differential, he has fought 20.6% of his time inside the distance. He has controlled 45% of that time. Julian Erosa, 12.27% for, double that against. Negative differential, has fought 36.4% of his fight time inside the distance. He has only controlled 34% of that time. Get up time for Jourdain, 24.79. 383 hold down time. That is the most in the featherweight division. Julian Erosa, 38.25 get up time. Hold down time, 46.7. 3 sub attempts for Jourdain, unsuccessful on all. 4 for Erosa, did finish one of those. Has a 100% defensive submission rate as well. No reversals for or against. And then some striking data. Nothing's really jumping out to me here. Some pretty run-of-the-mill numbers on both sides. Body striking is good for Erosa. Head strikes landed per minute, much better than Jourdain. We'll skip down here to efficiency. Some negative numbers for Jourdain. It's got a positive head striking efficiency, positive distance striking efficiency. Big number for Erosa here for inside the distance striking efficiency, positive 23.68%. And some average numbers for Jourdain. Positive numbers for the most part as far as differentials go. Negative 1.75 head striking differential per minute from Julian Erosa, but a positive 0.87 body strike and a positive 0.47 clinch strike. So not too great at distance, but getting close, Julian Erosa does seem to have the advantage there. 65% of all strikes thrown from Jourdain, significant strikes thrown rather, have been to the head, 21% to the body, 14% to the legs. 72.5% from Erosa to the head, 20% to the body, 7% to the legs. And just about the same from distance, but a 9.81% for Jourdain ground strikes thrown. Graphical analysis of that. UFC record, let's see, last 5, I guess it is different for Erosa, so we can go over that. Not looking too great though. Negative 8.52 AWI over his last 5. Power index 0.45 and a terrible chindex 1.16. Negative numbers across the board for his differentials. Almost a strike low, almost a takedown and a half low, 20% low on his control time. Very bad. Minus 2.17 takedowns per 15 for Jourdain. I think that's the same number as above though. Graphically, we are declining for Erosa in his striking accuracy. Strikes landed against per minute. Takedown defense has gone down 16%. Takedown accuracy has gone down 10% over his last 5. Strength of schedule. Let's see. Last 5 for Jourdain, 2-2-1. 3-2 for Erosa. 2-3 in the UFC. He did that. I had to look at that. Those numbers are different because in between either Dawson and Arce or Arce and Woodson, he had a fight somewhere else. So it counts. 74.7 win percentage, opponent win percentage, 73 strength of schedule, 73 strength of victory, and 73 strength in defeat. 67.5 opponent win percentage for Erosa. 66 strength of schedule, 76 strength of victory, and 79 strength of defeat. Some pretty decent ratios here from Erosa. Top 5. A little bit lower they are for Jourdain. And then the last 5 fight history. No common opponents, it looks like. Anything jumping out at me? Not particularly. Losses, wins are in order. I mean, the information is in order. And then graphically, we are trending up. Is Jourdain in striking? No takedown game to speak of. Control time trending way up while his opponents are trending down. So some decent graphs there. Opponents trending down everywhere. Erosa trending up. Not much of a takedown game, but his opponents are trending down. And then he is way below on his control time. Opponents are trending down, so that is pretty good. Grant Dawson kind of screwed him there on the takedown and control time numbers, looks like. Fourth fight of the prelims. Jack Shore taking on Ludwig Cholinyan. See how close that got. Jack Shore, this is a bantamweight fight. Jack Shore, 5'8", 71-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 26 years old. Ludwig, 5'10", 70-inch reach, 31 years old, so about 5 years older than Jack Shore. Jack Shore, undefeated professionally, 14-0, 3-0 in the UFC. 4 of his wins by way of KO, 8 of his wins by way of sub. Cholinyan, 9-1-1 in the professionally, no UFC fights. 1 KO TKO win, 3 submission losses, never been finished. 63.64% of his fights do go the distance. Let's see. And Cholinyan has no UFC fights, so we are pretty much skipping the entire rest of this part. We'll try to fly through this. Jack Shore, fantastic ass whooping index, 22. That is 4th out of 67. Never knocked anyone down, but never knocked anyone down either. Perfect chindex. Opening lines, Jack Shore, minus 285, currently minus 330. Huge favorite. This fight is a minus 135, doesn't go to decision. This is my biggest, my biggest favorite on the card, 81%. That's not even including my win inside the distance numbers and a couple of other things yet. So yeah, minus 422. No way Jack Shore gets his first loss to Cholinyan, in my opinion. UFC fight finishing data. Jack Shore, 2/3 of his wins have come by way of finish. 1 in round 2, 1 in round 3. Some pretty good ass whooping index numbers there. In his one decision, he did have an 8.42. That's the 5th highest. Striking data. Significant strikes landed per minute. Pi for Jack Shore. That is pretty low as far as volume goes. But that striking accuracy, 57.22, 5th highest. And look at this. Strikes landed against per minute, only a 1.61. That's almost half of what he gets hit with, or what he hits people with. 7th highest in the division. 56.49 defense. 1.53 significant strikes landed per minute differential. 18th best differential overall in the division. Fantastic striking numbers there from Jack Shore, who has 8 submissions. Fantastic striking numbers from the guy who has 8 submissions. Okay. 13.71% striking efficiency. 37% of his time, 38% of his time is fought at distance. That's it. Just 38. No knockdowns for or against. Takedown data, 13 of 28. So this is a guy who has incredible striking numbers and also attempts just under 12 takedowns per 15 minutes. Lands 5.5 of those takedowns. That is a 46.5% accuracy rate. Stuffed all 6 takedowns against him for a perfect 100% defense. 14.43% takedown shooting rate. Positive takedown differential. Takedown efficiency, 46.43. I mean, these are top 5 numbers across the board for takedowns. Advanced takedown data, pretty much the same numbers as above. Control time percentage, 48.7% for, 13.5% against. Huge differential. Time fought inside the distance, 62%. And he's controlled 78.26% of that time. Has a get up time of 47.83 seconds, a hold down time of 36.89 seconds. So, I mean, this guy's dominating everywhere. 2 submission attempts, both successful. And stuffed the 1 submission attempt against him. Has a reversal and 2 reversals against. 15.38% of the time he lands a takedown, it gets reversed. Look at this. Some fantastic striking numbers from Jack Shore. Just fantastic. Volume, not so much. Leg striking is top 5. Ground striking, top 10. Efficiency, he is positive across the board. Head striking differential per minute, 0.91. Leg striking, 0.96. Distance striking, 0.45. Ground striking, 0.88. Differentials. Does have a negative body striking differential, negative 0.45. I love to see this. Out of all significant strikes thrown from Jack Shore, 67% have been to the head, 11% to the body, 22% to the legs. Only 72% of the significant strikes thrown have come from distance. 24% of those strikes have come from the ground. My goodness, what is there to hate about this guy? I mean, oh, what did this line? I want to see what this line opened at. It was pretty wide, I guess. So I don't even know if there's value there still, but there's no way Jack Shore's losing this. Last 5 fights, don't even need to look at that. I mean, strength of schedule, decent, 75%, 71, 75 strength of victory. Some high ratios there, so it's not like he's fighting cans. Ludwig, I do have numbers here as far as strength of schedule goes. He is 4-1 in his last 5. 60 opponent win rate percentage. Opponent win rate percentage? Opponent win percentage. 56.5 strength of schedule, 55.5 strength of victory, 65 strength of defeat. Some pretty low ratio, very low ratios here. There are only 22 fighters on this card, so second to last. So he's the one fighting cans pretty much. Last 5, Hunter Azure, Aaron Phillips, Nolan Hernandez. Beating people up is Jack Shore. And look at these graphs, fantastic. We're doubling up our strikes. Our takedowns, they're not even touching us. Control time, they can't even see us. Jack Shore is killing it. Yeah. I'm going to find a way to bet Jack Shore this week. For sure. The other fights I don't know about yet. Probably Martinez, maybe. Jack Shore, I'm definitely going to find an angle to bet that. Absolutely. I just don't think that, like I said, I don't think that Sholinyan takes Jack Shore 0 at all. Let's keep it moving. Molly Mccann. We're at 42 minutes. All right. Let's try to get this under an hour. That'd be a record. Molly Mccann against Ji Yeon Kim. Women's flyweight fight. Mccann, 5'4", 62-inch reach. Orthodox fighter, 31 years old. Kim, 5'7", 72. 5'7", 10-inch reach advantage. Oh my God. Almost 32 years old, so just 7 months, 6 months older than Mccann. Mccann 10-4 professionally, 3-3 in the UFC. 28.5% of her fights have come by knockout win. She has been subbed once. And just on the other side, Kim 9-3-2, 3-3 in the UFC. 14.29% of her fights she has finished by knockout. 3 of them have come by way of submission win, and they both 64.29% of the time go to the distance. Let's see, both have negative ass whoop indexes, minus 3.45 for Mccann. Power index is 0, chin index is perfect. Kim minus 1.05 ass whoop index, 0.26 power index, so she does have a knockdown. Perfect chin index. Get some water here. Kim opening line she opened at minus 190, currently almost at pick'em range, minus 118. Molly Mccann opened at plus 165. She is currently even. Plus 240 fight doesn't go. I'm capping this fight currently 55-45 for Kim. Notable performances, notable performances, blah, blah, blah. Kim did have a loss to Shevchenko. Antonina, though, almost had you on that one. Fight finishing data. Mccann does not have a finish win. 100% decision win rate. Kim, 100% decision loss rate, so never been finished. 3 unanimous decision losses there. Does have a knockout win, though. Came in the second round, and Mccann was finished in the second round. What do you know? Basic striking data. Mccann, 5.15 significant strikes landed per minute. That's 9 out of 44 in the division. Over 50% accuracy. Very good. And look at these defensive numbers, too. Gets hit a decent amount, 4.28 significant strikes landed against per minute, but 65% defense. My goodness. That is good for a positive 0.88 significant strikes landed per minute differential, 14th in the division. Mccann also with just under 16% striking efficiency, 58% of her time fought has come at distance. And when she throws over 100 significant strikes, it's happened in 4 out of her 6 fights. Her strikes landed per minute goes from 5.15 to 6.27, and she wins 75% of those fights. Kim, on the other side, 4.5 significant strikes landed per minute at a 34% accuracy, not great. Gets hit with 4.94 per minute at a 57% defense. It's good for a negative 0.45 striking differential, 30th in the division. Has a negative 8% striking efficiency. 77% of her fight time has come at distance. Let's see. Kim has a knockdown, as we mentioned. She did win that fight. Basic takedown data. Mccann, 1.64 takedowns landed per 15. That's a 29% accuracy. 2.74 takedowns landed against per 15 at an abysmal 28.57% defense. Minus 1.1 takedown differential. 3.72% shooting rate. Negative 42% takedown efficiency. So not great numbers there from Mccann. Kim, 0 for 1 as far as her takedowns go. Has stuffed 3 of 7, 42% takedown defense. Negative differential, negative 57% efficiency. Basic control time data, 9% for Mccann, 32.5% against. That's a big negative differential there. 41.5% of her time fought has come inside the distance. She has controlled 21.7% of that time. Kim, 7.34% control time, 15.5% control time against. Negative differential, 23% of her time fought has come inside the distance. She's only controlled 32% of that time. Mccann's get up time, 76.29. Hold down time, 14.35. Kim with a crazy 113-second get up time. She likes to stay down there, apparently. Maybe she does. Her hold down time is the best in the division. A shitload is the number there. If you're curious, submission data, 0 for 4 submission attempts. Has stuffed 2 of 3 submission attempts against her. No attempts for Kim. 100% defense there. 1 reversal for Mccann. Let's see, some striking numbers. I got some good percentages from Molly Mccann here. Offensive and defensive. Very good. Top 15, top 10, most categories. Head strikes landed per minute, 3.47. Some decent leg striking numbers. Distance striking, 8th. Overall, 4.06 per minute. A couple of okay numbers from Kim, but Mccann pretty much has the significant striking data claimed. Striking efficiency and differentials, positive across the board for Mccann, except for inside the distance, negative 12.69%. And then only a couple positive numbers for Kim. Mccann pretty much owns the differentials too. 1, as far as head striking differential per minute, 0.8 distance striking differential. See, Kim has a decent head strike differential. Body strike differential's terrible. Leg strike differential's terrible. 80% of all significant strikes thrown from Mccann have gone to the head. 10% to the body and legs. 83.5% distance strikes. More of a headhunter is Kim. 88.5% to the head. 7.5% to the body. 3.8% to the legs, 93% have come from distance. Little graphical depiction there. Both are 3 and 2 in their last 5. Both with a negative ass whoop index, but Mccann's has improved a bit. Kim has a decent power index, both perfect chin index, but Mccann rules pretty much every category except for takedown defense and control time against, but everything else is hers. Negative numbers for differentials from Kim, last 5. Positive striking differential from Mccann. She's improved in a couple places, but pretty much stayed the same. Takedown defense has gone down 5% in her last 5. Kim also a little bit of a decline, but nothing crazy. Strength of schedule, like I said, they're both 3 and 2. Mccann has this wrapped up, and it's not even close. 88.8 strength of defeat. That's crazy. Some pretty high ratios there. Top 10 numbers, top 5 as far as losses go. on some pretty low numbers for Kim, but her losses have been pretty tough as well. That's coming from Antonina Shevchenko and then Grasso. Meanwhile, Mccann lost her last two, so she kind of needs a win here. I mean, not saying the UFC's, going to cut her or anything, but you never want to see a 3-fight skid. That's terrible. Terrible. Let's see. Really jumping out at me there. Everything seems to be in order. Some graphs. Mccann doing it on the striking, but she is trending way down. Trending down in her takedowns as well, and she is not improving her control time at all, while her opponents are trending way up on the ground. Not a good thing for Molly Mccann. Kim, getting outstruck, getting out grounded on the takedown side, and getting out grounded on the control time side as well. Not trending up at all, while her opponents do trend up. And that's about all there is for that one. Last fight of the prelims. Ariane Lipski, and if these are out of order, oops. Women's flyweight fight again. 5'6" is Lipski, 67-inch reach, orthodox fighter, 27 years old. Mandy Baum, 5'6", 70-inch reach. And I do not have a birthday for her. She's not actually 121 years old. I don't think. I meant no offense, Mandy Baum. Lipski, professionally 13-7. She is 2-4 in the UFC. She has 6 wins by way of KO, TKO, 3 losses there, then 3 sub wins as well. 40% of her professional fights go the distance. Mandy Baum, almost identical distance numbers there. 28.5% of her fights she's finished by KO, TKO, and the same number by sub. Never been finished. She is a perfect 7-0, as we said. Lipski, ass whooping index negative 8.03. That's 39th out of 44th. Has a decent power index, though. 3rd in the division, 0.55, and a perfect chindex. And I have no UFC information for Mandy Baum. Lipski opened at plus 145. She's currently even. Mandy opened at minus 170, currently minus 118. This fight is a plus 175. Does not go to decision. Excuse me. I cannot talk. This is a huge difference of what I actually think this fight is, probably, as far as capping goes. Not only do I not have all my odds, but I have no stats for Mandy Baum. So this is probably much closer than I have it. Fight finishing data, 50% of Lipski's wins have come by way of finish. She's a 50-50 fighter all the way down the line in the UFC. 1 round 1 finish win for Lipski, 2 round 2 finish losses. Ass whoop index, 81.67. That's the highest ass whoop index in the entire division. 10th lowest ass whoop index, or 10th highest, I guess, in inner finish losses at a negative 28.5. Striking data, Lipski, 2.76 strikes landed per minute at a 33.3% accuracy. She gets outstruck 4.25 landed against per minute at a 49% significant striking defense. Negative 1.48 differential. That is terrible. Has a negative 17.8 striking efficiency. Has fought 41.6% of her fight time at distance. Has 1 knockdown, never been knocked down, and she did win that fight. Takedown data, nothing much to speak of. 1 for 4. 1.83 landed against per 15 at a 43% defense. Terrible. Negative differential. Huge negative efficiency at a negative 32.14%. Less than 1% takedown shooting rate, so she is pretty much a striker, if you didn't know that. No takedown data to speak of. Control time, pretty high for no takedowns, 21%, but almost double against, 37.42. That's a negative percentage. 58% of her fight time has come inside the distance, and she's only controlled 36% of that time. Her get-up time, bad, 105. Hold-down time, good, 205. Very good. 4th in the division. 2 sub-attempts for, finished 1 of them. 4 sub-attempts against, defended all of them. 1 reversal for, 1 reversal against. The 1 takedown she landed did get reversed. And then striking data. all pretty low for the most part, average to low to below average. Same with these volume numbers here. I mean, her body striking is okay. Everything else is in the 30s and low 20s. Negative striking efficiency everywhere except for body striking, 5.03%. Everywhere else, and it's not just a little negative, it's very negative. Negative differentials all across the board except for body. Oh my goodness. Negative 1.31 head strike differential. Negative 1.05 ground striking differential. For a women's flyweight. Getting beat up. And she's the queen of violence, huh? Let's see. 78% of significant strikes thrown from Lipski have gone to the head. 15% to the body. 7% to the legs. 92% of significant strikes thrown have been at distance. As we said, or I guess we didn't, but she is 2-3 in her last 5. Still a terrible AWI, a decent power index, and a perfect chindex. Which that should be green. I need to change that. She's getting trending down everywhere in every category except for strikes landed against per minute. Takedown accuracies dropped 25% over the last 5. Takedown defense has dropped 6.5%. Strength of schedule, however, Mandy Baum, she's undefeated because she's fighting terrible fighters. 40%, 36 strength of schedule, 40 strength of victory. She's got the lowest ratios on the entire card. Terrible. Garbage. Meanwhile, Lipski, at least she's above the 70s, you know. Very respectable. Compared, I think Baum gets her first loss here, honestly. Lipski's going to turn it around. Baum's going to take that first loss. We'll see. I might just be talking out my ass. Last 5 for Ariane Lipski. And then some graphs real quick. Trending down. Opponent is doing better than her in striking. No takedown game to speak of while her opponents trend up. And her control time is there. But it is trending down while her opponents trend up at an extreme rate. Doubling her up on the percentage. And that's going to do it, guys. That's going to take us through the prelims for UFC Vegas 36, Brunson versus Till. Please be sure to join me for the next video. Should be out right now. By the time you get done with this, should be out. It is the main card. 5 fights on the main card, headlined by the aforementioned Brunson and Till, which I think is going to be a fantastic fight. Make sure you do your tape study as well, and let's get some money from these bookies. I had a pretty rough weekend this week as far as betting goes. I know a lot of people did, but this week I'm focused in. I'm going to keep it smaller. I'm going to keep it more focused, and I'm going to do even more research here. It turns out my model, went 10-2 last week, and I went like way less than that. So if I just listen to myself and my own numbers, I should do a lot better. So let's take some money from our bookies this weekend, you guys. Join me on the next video. Before you go, be sure to hit that like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Peace out.